everybody. Glad to see you today. I got up kind of early today, went for a bike ride, and did my Bible study, but then I didn't do my video. So I'm here now to do it. I just got busy doing some other things today. So remember, I'm studying the book of Ruth, and we had been looking at Ruth 1, chapter 1, verses 1 through 13 is what we did last time. And remember, Naomi has lost her husband, she's lost her sons, she's living in a foreign country, she's two daughter-in-laws, Orpah and Ruth, and they have agreed to go with her back to Bethlehem because the famine there is over. So she wants to go back to her hometown, and they're on the road with her. And she's trying to talk them into going back. She's telling them, I have no man to protect me, and I'm not going to have a man. I'm not going to get married again. I'm too old. Not going to have a son that could marry you. And in that day and age, that was super important to have a man. The man was the one who owned the property and who could rescue you from poverty, who had the responsibility of feeding you and taking care of you and so on. If somebody in your family, if the men around you had died, it was your next relative, next male relative that was responsible for you. Especially a brother would take care of the brother's wife. But these girls had both lost their husbands, so both brothers were gone. There was no man. And so Naomi tries to talk them into going back to their own hometown. And eventually, this is verse 14, and they wept aloud again. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung to her. Look, said Naomi, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. I think that's an interesting scenario here, because here we have someone who has been introduced to the one true God because they were married to Jews. So Orpah is deciding, no, she's going to go back to the old thing. She's going to go back to what's familiar. She's going to go back to her hometown and her idol worship and all the rest of the customs that she was used to. Ruth, however, is not so sure she wants that. She wants maybe a new way. And in some ways, these two women are symbolic of the new life and the old life. That sometimes it's easier for us, or seems easier at the time, for us to backtrack into old habits and old ways because there's risk going forward. But God calls us to sometimes take a risk and to be in the new life, to embrace the new life. So Ruth is really going to give that up a lot here. She is not only going to give up her home and family, her family that she was raised with, but also her gods. Because if she goes with Naomi, she's going to embrace the one true God and not be back in the idol worship that she was accustomed to. So Naomi is saying, you know, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. Listen to Ruth's reply. It's so great. But Ruth replied, this is verse 16, don't urge me to leave you or turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die. There will I be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. And when Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. Ruth made a decision here. She said, I am all in. I am all in. You're my mother, you're my family, your God is my God. Your people are my people. That is quite a statement. You know, that is really amazing when you think about it. But that's what God calls us to do, isn't it? He doesn't want half-hearted people. He calls us to be all in. And he says, no matter what, even when the future is uncertain, I am there with you. And we're going to see this more and more in Naomi's story, that God has a plan. And if Naomi is faithful, and if Ruth is faithful, God will show his faithfulness. Oh, in a big way. A big way. So it's very interesting that this passage has been set to music so many times and so on, because it is such a beautiful, beautiful passage of loyalty and love that Ruth is saying here, I am embracing you as my family now, and I'm going to be a Jew, which is really interesting because at that time there weren't, the Jews thought they were the only ones who had the benefit of a one true God. So Ruth is also symbolic of the new covenant in the sense that she is not a Jew. She's an outsider, but yet she will be accepted into God's family, and she will be blessed in God's family. So you don't have to be born a Jew necessarily to embrace the one true God. So this is kind of a foreshadowing of the new covenant that will be coming when Gentiles and Jews alike will be part of the body of Christ. And all the way along there are these signposts in the Old Testament that are pointing to Christ. And already Ruth, being a Moabite, embracing the people of God, embracing their God, is already a symbol of what's to come in the new covenant through Christ's death and resurrection. So that's pretty interesting. We're almost done with chapter 1, but we're going to finish that up another day. I'm hoping you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and that you allow God to give you some hope for the future, that He has a plan, and that He's going to work everything out the way He knows will be best for you. So God bless you all. Have a great day.